Time now for a look at the day's top business news. Brian Quinn joins us for that. Brian, I'm going to start here in Europe, where EU leaders are meeting this week to discuss how the continent's transition to a low-carbon future might be paid for. The big question.
Indeed, the EU getting ready for a big climate policy overhaul with a raft of policy proposals due out in July. Among the expected measures, reforms to the carbon trading market as the bloc seeks to cut greenhouse gases by 55% within the decade. Well, finance ministers from the 27 member states met in Portugal over the weekend to discuss how to pay for those measures. A significant proportion of the money will likely be earmarked from the EU's €750 billion COVID-19 recovery fund. Some countries like Poland and the Czech Republic, though, are pushing for more of the EU's modernization fund, which comes from the sale of carbon permits, to be given to poorer countries to aid in their transition. Higher energy taxes will also likely be part of the plan, with aviation fuel in particular in the crosshairs. Here's Ireland's finance minister.
What these taxes are designed to do is to encourage us to change the way we live, the way we spend, the way we organise our companies and our employment. And while there could be some additional cost in the short term, we have to make these changes to avoid even bigger costs in the future.
Pascal Dono there. Well, meanwhile, Brian, how are the markets shaping up today?
Well, European indexes opening just slightly higher as recent growth in worldwide service sectors has led to concern that the U.S. Federal Reserve could start winding down its bond buying program. New core U.S. inflation data due out this week also has investors spooked that interest rates could be on the rise soon. London and Paris up around a third and 0.2% respectively at the start of the day. Frankfurt Exchange is closed for a holiday. Meanwhile, the bloodbath continues on the cryptocurrency markets. Bitcoin down around 2% in the past 24 hours. Ethereum recovering a bit to be down just under 1%. Bitcoin's value, though, is halved since its April peak as China moves to restrict both its mining and trading, while American tax authorities say they'll be cracking down on tax evasion in crypto trades.
Well, next, Virgin Galactic's successful flight to the edge of space this weekend has brought space tourism just one small step closer to reality.
We could call it maybe a mid-sized stride for private space travel. Billionaire tycoon Richard Branson's pet space project has some 600 paying customers waiting to take a ride, similar to the one that took off from Spaceport America in New Mexico this weekend. But there are two other companies also making big strides towards space tourism: Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, in what is shaping up to be a billionaire's space race. Shirley Sitbon reports.
The world's richest tourists can start packing up. Commercial flights into space are getting more real with every test flight. This is what it looks like. Virgin Galactic's shuttle was propelled to an altitude of 89.2 kilometers, the edge of space. 3 more test flights like this, and tourists can get on board.
It is a cabin which has been designed specifically to allow thousands of people to achieve their dreams of spaceflight safely.
Reservations start at $200,000 for a few minutes into space, but potential buyers are likely to push prices higher. Like with Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' company, who is taking a first tourist to the edge of space in 2 months. The ticket fare is at $2.8 million, and bidding is far from over. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is offering to take tourists to the International Space Station.
Ils financent une partie de leur programme de recherche technologique avec les super riches qui ont envie de se payer un petit tour dans l'espace. Mais évidemment, l'objectif final ne sera pas de s'arrêter là et de voler à 80 km d'altitude pendant 5 minutes.
Elon Musk has big plans for Mars, where he wants to build a human settlement. Jeff Bezos plans to move the world's most polluting industries to space to keep expanding human activity while keeping pollution far above the Earth.
Well, finally, for business, Brian, American CEOs are facing increasing pushback over their giant pay packets.
The Financial Times is reporting that investor protests over executive compensation have hit an all-time high last week. Halliburton became the latest S&P 500 company to get less than 50% support for C-suite pay packages. 12 other major U.S. companies have seen similar votes at their annual shareholder meetings, including Intel, whose CEO was offered a $110 million package. Starbucks shareholders as well, voting against a potential $50 million bonus for its CEO. The pushback comes as many compensation committees have rewritten performance targets to make them easier for top execs to reach amid the pandemic. Well, the pay votes are generally non-binding, but they do reflect a growing resistance to exorbitant CEO pay at America's top company. And when you have that kind of dissent at the company, the shares generally underperform, Eve.
There's a good reason, if nothing else, Brian. God, millions in a bonus. Can't even imagine. Brian Quinn with the Business News, thanks a lot for that.